Hola, mis estudiantes. Este es Mr. Senor. Um, we've been working on storytelling for a long time, and what I realized is I really haven't broken down the storytelling process very well. And so, what I want to do this week, just in preparation for either the Regents exam or if we are doing locals, my local exam, how we write a story for Spanish class. What are the steps? What are the things that we can do to prepare ourselves? What's the attitude that we should have as we're writing, et cetera. I'm going to go over all those things to try to make this easier with the goal that we're going to write one very well written story at the when we're finished with towards the end of the week and into next week. The way I see it, as I was thinking about it, how I write a story, there are three steps for writing a story. First thing is that you are given a picture on the Regents exam to write a story about. You have to take a look at the picture and analyze what is going on here. Then you brainstorm vocabulary, nouns, so that's people, places, and things, and verbs, action words that are associated with the picture. I will show you examples of that in this video. Summarize in English 3 sentences that will happen, and we're talking like long run-on sentences. I'm going to show you what I mean because it's you're not graded on it, so there's no reason to really put any like too much punctuation or care if it's a run-on sentence. Basically, 3 long sentences about what will happen as a summary of your story for the beginning, middle, and end. I'm going to show you examples of that as well. Step 1, analyzing the picture. First, you should identify what is in the picture, what actions are happening, and who is doing the actions. Then identify what could be happening. Use your imagination of what at this, and then jot down those notes. You can write right on the Regents exam. And if it's the local, you can write all over that the local exam, the booklet that you get. In fact, I encourage it. So as I was analyzing this picture, this is Marmaduke. In fact, I think this may have been, or a very similar picture was on the Regents. And there was a couple Marmaduke ones. If I choose, sometimes I like to choose those because they're on the Regents. But so this is what I said. There's a dog, 2 women. This is just my summary of like what's happening in the picture. This isn't step 2 or step 3 where I'm summarizing. I'm just kind of throwing my ideas out here. There's a woman walking away with a small dog I didn't write it with proper grammar because these are just notes, right? So if I was on the Regents exam, I don't care in English what I write because it's not being counted. Maybe the problem could be that the big dog tried to eat the little dog. It'd be kind of funny. There's also a tree, so I noticed that. And so maybe the big dog was using the bathroom on the tree and the little dog walked underneath him and got pee on him, which would be funny. The woman with the small dog gets mad and maybe she needs to wash her dog, so she goes home. That's kind of my ideas about like, okay, what is happening in this? What could be happening? That's what step 1 is. What do I see and what could happen? So after you do this, the next step, my recommendation, which we will be practicing this week, is brainstorming different vocabulary terms that you might need for this activity, writing. 1, record nouns, verbs, and other phrases that you think are related to the image. It could be anything, even if not sure if you're going to use it in the story, write it down. Identify and write down all the vocabulary that you know in Spanish that you just wrote down in English, and come up with ideas for how you could work around words or phrases you don't know. So as I'm looking at this, I said, well, probably to walk with, caminar con, I know how to say that. Big dog, perro grande. Little dog, perro pequeño. There's a woman, there's 2 women actually. La mujer is a woman. I see a leash. What I did was, I actually know the word for leash, but I'm going to pretend I didn't. Okay, I got some options for leash. At the end of the day, I could leave leash out of this. It's not necessary. So anytime that you're like, I'm not sure if I know how to say that, you could just leave it out. But I do have a few options here. I could say cord if I know the word for cord, which I do. But let's say I don't. I could say the word for cable, which is cable, and that actually would work here. If I don't know that, I can say the thing that the woman uses to walk the dog. You can literally say that, and that is perfectly fine on the Regents exam. The road is la calle. Yeah, maybe he wanted to go somewhere. El quiso ir, so I wrote that down. I brainstormed, and your list may be a lot longer than this. Your list should probably not be any shorter than this. If you have any terms that you're not sure about, put a question mark, and then maybe over here, write some ideas down about what you can do, and if not, or what you can use, and if not, just leave it out. It's okay. It doesn't need to be in the story. Step 3, short pre-draft. Although if you do struggle with writing in Spanish, I will recommend that you draft the majority of your story in English. At a bare minimum, you should summarize the first 3 paragraphs, one long sentence each. So your first paragraph should include, and this is when you're going to write the full full story when you go to actually write it. In your first paragraph, you should introduce your characters, what their names are, who they are, their mom, dad, boy, girl. Are they a student? Where are they? Are they at home? Are they on the street? Are they on Mars? Are they in their bedroom? Where are they? And what were they doing? What were they doing? Well, that's the imperfect. That's the abas and the ias. It's a great opportunity for you to use the imperfect. Make sure that you answer those questions before you introduce your problem, because it sets up your story for a clear beginning. Remember, we start our stories with hubo una vez, there once was, or it's once upon a time as well. Then introduce your problem. What was the problem that could be in the story? Second paragraph should explain what happens as a result of the problem that you introduce. So as soon as you start talking about your problem, new paragraph, what happened because of this problem? What ended up happening? You know, what conflict occurred? Did they get into a fight? Did someone fall down? Did they argue? Did they yell? What did they yell? Right? How long did they fight for? If it was a fight, I keep going back to this fight idea. I don't know why. Conflict, right? And then lastly, third paragraph, what ended up happening when the conflict ended? So the conflict ended, and so what? So what ended up happening at the end of the story? So basically what we're going to do, I'm going to show you an example. This is in one long run-on. It's a run-on sentence. I'm going to tell you right now, these are run-on sentences that we're going to read to you. But this is what I expect, because it's not like the English counts. I don't care about the drafting part. Summarize in English each paragraph that you are thinking you're going to write about. So here's what I did. I took a look at this picture, and I wrote 3 sentences that summarize in short. These are just my ideas. What's going to happen? My first paragraph, that's the introduction. I just said, big dog and woman are at home. They decided to go for a walk. Woman grabs leash and they leave. I could have written more here. I could have said, and they see a small dog and I could have written more there, I think. But okay. Second paragraph. Big dog and woman are walking when suddenly the big dog needs to pee. Oh, I put a period here. I told you, you don't have to do this. It should be one long. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't really matter at all. Big dog sees a tree. Do I know this word? So I'm pretending here, like, do I know the word for tree? Maybe I need to think of another object, right? That's okay to do. And starts doing his business, and a little dog gets close and walks into him going to the bathroom. Ha, hilarious. Third paragraph, big dog laughed, little dog cried, little dog's mom yelled at big dog, and the big dog had to say, I'm sorry. The little dog's mom took him home. And so that's a summary of what I want to have happen in my story. Obviously, this is not 100 words. I haven't counted it yet. I don't think this is 100 words. So you're going to have to elaborate when you write, but at least I know where I'm going now, because it can happen where, you know, you're writing and you start running out of ideas. And if you brainstorm first, it at least gives you a structure that you can work in. Last thing that you should remember as you're writing a story for La Clase de Español is that I want you to pretend when you're writing this story or any story that we're writing for our class that you are writing a story for a toddler. Keep your language and sentence structure simple, right? When you talk to a little kid, you simplify your language. Especially if you're struggling with more complex sentence structures, you really should be doing this. Pretend you're writing to a story for a toddler. It is okay to simplify your language. Spanish is not your native language. So you don't know Spanish as well as you know English. But we have to be careful, when with our expectations for what we're going to say. If you're talking and you want to say that he got mad, but you said he was unbelievably irate at the situation. Well, that you don't know how to say that, but you can say he was very angry. That's okay to do. That is perfectly fine. That's what I expect. As time goes on, we work on how do I say, like, if I want to say he's irate, how would I say that? Or extremely, or instead of muy for very, like, so those are the things that we're going to be talking about later on. But you can keep your language simple, and it may even make your story better. If you have any questions this week, please don't hesitate to email me at gmakoski@nrwcs.org.